Hey guys, it's Miss Stewart. This week's grammar lesson is based around compound sentences with a little bit of a reminder about prepositional phrases thrown in. So let's go ahead and get started. So a compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses. Let's go ahead and write that on your note sheet. But something that we need to remind ourselves about these two independent clauses is that they need to be closely related to each other. They can't be two random thoughts that are thrown together as a compound sentence. That doesn't work. They need to be closely related. And you'll kind of see that when we go through our diagramming. It becomes more clear there. So we also need to know how to punctuate a compound sentence. So a compound sentence is punctuated with a comma before the coordinating conjunction. And coordinating conjunctions are some of your most common conjunctions. You can remember those with fanboys here. So those coordinating conjunctions are for, which when we're thinking about those in a sentence, it means the same thing as because. You have and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So those are all of your coordinating conjunctions. You need a comma before those when you see them joining two independent clauses. So, now a note to remember about prepositional phrases. This really deals with when you have a prepositional phrase that begins your sentence. When you have that, you need to have a comma after your object of the preposition. Your OOP. So, we'll look at some of those also when we're diagramming. So, if you're kind of unclear as to what I mean when it begins your sentence or when it starts your sentence, you'll see that when we diagram as well. So, let's go ahead and start with the first sentence that we have. So, I went to the department store and I went to the grocery store. So, if you look at this sentence, you remember you have to have two independent clauses closely related to one another to make a compound sentence. So these are closely related because they're both dealing with going to a store, even though they're two different types of stores, same kind of thing. So let's diagram that. So let's look at our first independent clause. I went to the department store. So let's figure out subject I, verb went, and then you have your prepositional phrase to the department store. So to is your preposition, store is your object of the preposition. So let's diagram that first. So I went. Where did I go? I went to the store. So that means that my prepositional phrase, since it answers the question where, is going to be an adverb. So I'm going to diagram it under went. To the store. All right, now I'm going to show you how we're going to connect the two independent clauses in a diagram. So to do that, we do a vertical kind of dotted line with a horizontal line where we're going to put our conjunction. So we see our conjunction and, one of our coordinating conjunctions, and then another dotted line off the end of that that's going to connect to our next independent clause's verb, went. So again, I went. Same thing, where did I go? Went to the grocery store. So to the grocery store is our prepositional phrase. Answers the question where. So it equals an adverb, so it's going to go under went. Didn't really really give myself a lot of room. All right, so let's do one more, and we'll do one that contains a prepositional phrase at the beginning. So if you look on the back page, let's do after dance practice, I ate dinner and I went to bed. So if you look at this sentence, there's something missing in my compound sentence. What do you guys think's missing? If you said I'm missing a comma, you are correct. So I need a comma before my coordinating conjunction and, because I have a compound sentence, I ate dinner, I went to bed. So let's diagram this. So again, I've got one independent clause, another independent clause. So subject I, verb ate, I ate what? I ate dinner, so I've got a direct object. So my other independent clause, subject I, verb went. Then I've got a prepositional phrase, to bed, so I went where. So I can answer the question where, so it's going to be an adverb. Just setting these up so I know where I'm putting what in my diagram. And then I've also got my prepositional phrase beginning my sentence. Again, notice, comma, after my object of the preposition. My preposition being after. So let's diagram this. Give myself a little more room this time. I ate, direct object, vertical line that does not pass through the baseline. I ate dinner. So after we do this, I want to diagram my prepositional phrase. So after the dance, that tells me or answers the question when. So if I can answer the question when, I know it's an adverb. So I'm going to diagram it under my verb ate. And when I do this, I'm going to include the capitalization. I'm also going to include the comma in it, just because I want to remind myself that my prepositional phrase begins my sentence, and I want to give myself another chance to remind myself that I have to put a comma after my prepositional phrase when it starts my sentence. All right, now I'm going to put my funny little line, my dotted vertical line, horizontal line, and another dotted line that's going to connect to my verb. So I went, where did I go? I went to bed. So I think you guys can definitely handle this. It's nothing much more difficult than what we've already done. This just, you need to remember that your dotted line starts in the first verb of your first independent clause, and then your second dotted vertical line connects down to the second verb in your second independent clause. Just something to keep in mind. And I need to put my comma in there. Okay, something that I want to draw your attention to is your first sentence on your second page. Remember, these are commands. And with commands, you have something special, so that's a little bit of a hint for you. But I think you guys will do just fine with this. Tricks of the trade, just something to remember. Commas after prepositional phrases that begin a sentence. Another thing to remember, commas before coordinating conjunctions, which are your fanboys. Those are the only ones. There are no other coordinating conjunctions.